Hi, I'm Rinku Sen, publisher of Colorlines.com. Over the last several months, there's been a ton of discussion nationwide about whether or not people of color are adequately represented and involved in the Occupy Wall Street movement. The discussion needs to be not just about whether there's enough diversity in Occupy Wall Street, but also about whether that diversity is leading to an actual shift in the agenda that Occupy Wall Street embraces. Colorlines.com's Monica Novoa went out into the streets of New York and talked to people of color who are actually involved in the movement. Here's what they said.
Why do you think it's important for people of color to get involved in this Occupy Wall Street movement?
There are a lot of movements I think that are very white. There is not space to enter those and really change them. I feel like Occupy Wall Street, from being here and the things that I've done and seen, is a break from some of that. It feels like an opening in time and space that I, 3 weeks ago, had no idea could happen.
What are some of the barriers to people coming out here, and what do you think would make them feel standoffish?
Well, really, the white community's been doing pretty good for a long time, on average. You know, and they're struggling not to be where we are already. But they're angry about student loans. People in my neighborhood don't have education.
When they were trying to pass the Declaration of the Occupation of New York City, which was going to be a document that was put on the internet and has been put on the internet, one of our big criticisms was that a lot of the language in the document, it didn't address issues relating to communities of color and the impact of capitalism and the economic crisis on communities of color. And so we blocked the declaration from passing in order to amend the language, and we were able to do that.
Can you tell us a little bit about what your experience has been like?
I've gotten involved in organizing a people of color working group. We started as a small group of core people, around 6 to 10 people who were interested in organizing around people of color issues. From that day, the momentum really started building for us. Today was our second major meeting, and over 100 people of color showed up for our meeting, which really shows that there is, a desire in our communities to be showing up and representing.
Together through, for example, Poccupy, the People of Color Working Group, we have been able to increase our voice and really connect the dots for people who don't understand that racism and capitalism and globalization and colonialism and patriarchy and transphobia and homophobia and so many things are inherently linked, and that this didn't just happen with the economic downturn that we've seen in the past.
To be honest, let's face it, if this park, Zuccotti Park, is full of young, white, middle-class kids and has continued to thrive, I believe, for example, that if it was filled with black kids from Harlem and Brooklyn, that it would have probably been quite easily eradicated and ended. So I'm not apologetic that the movement started the way it did with young white kids from this city and from elsewhere. But now that the movement is here, we must piggyback on it, we must join it, we must be part of it, and we must bring our issues to the forefront.